Support for Radio Friends comes from Homestead Senior Care, providing trustworthy, kind-hearted senior home care services in your loved one's home. All caregivers are thoroughly screened, extensively trained, professional, and reliable. Homestead is all about providing the highest quality home care service to fit you and your family's needs. Plus, if you would be interested in becoming a caregiver, they offer great part-time positions. Give them a call at 573-442-4333 or check it out at homestead.com. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, June the 28th. We have our walking encyclopedia with us. That's JOAN STACK. That's what I always say when I talk about you. Good
it's
to have
so
you
nice
here,
to
Joan.
see you.
Good to have you here. JOAN STACK for the State Historical Society, and she literally is a walking encyclopedia. Here's a lady that you start her off on the subject, and you can just sit there and Joan goes on.
Okay.
So what have we got today, Joan?
Well, today I want to talk about a new acquisition at the State Historical Society for our art collection. And it's a really exciting one. It is 100 beautiful black and white art photographs by Oliver Schuchard. And people in the Columbia community may know Oliver Schuchard's work. He was a photography teacher at MU for many years. He's still a professor emeritus, and he is a master photographer working in those traditional ways with the darkroom and negatives and long before digital photography.
So he hasn't gone to the digital stuff.
Well, I'm not sure what he's doing now, but the photographs that we'll be showing are the traditional darkroom produced photographs. And in fact, I brought reproductions here. They're very beautiful reproductions, but the prints that will be on display, we're going to show 4 Missouri scenes as a preview to people of our new acquisition of over 100 photos, which includes some Missouri and some other images from other places.
You've got over 100 photos. Are you going to be showing all 100 photos?
Well, maybe at some point, but at the moment we thought we'd focus on some Missouri photos. In fact, I think about this as a Missouri vacation. If you can't go on a trip somewhere to the beautiful countryside of Missouri, you can come into our gallery and see these images of Mark Twain National Forest and the Merrimack River and some of these really beautiful places in our state.
Yeah, and we really do. A lot of times people may not be aware of how gorgeous our state of Missouri is.
I know, yeah.
And we've got everything. We've got rolling hills, we've got flatlands, we've got creeks, we've got caves, we've got beautiful forests.
Yeah.
Now, can I hold up?
Yes,
now,
yes.
So I'm going to hold this up. If you're watching, we're talking for the people listening on the radio. Why don't you paint a picture of this picture?
Okay, this one is an image on the Merrimack River. So it's as though you're in the Merrimack River. I'm not sure. Maybe it is taken from a boat looking at the banks. And we see these beautiful trees which form these dark black lines, these contours. It almost has an abstract geometric quality to it. And then the foliage is really shimmering in the light. And that's one of the things I love about Missouri, especially I go on walks a lot of times on the trail, and I love the way the light shimmers on our vegetation. I mean, we have all these different types of trees, and so the light hits those leaves in different ways.
It does. It's filtered lights. It comes through the leaves of different density of the leaves.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of breeze, and the light shifts. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
And
so this you think is where?
It's along the Merrimack River.
Okay.
So a little further south. But still, to me, this is a scene that I've seen in this area in central Missouri, even though it is on the Merrimack River.
Okay. And now you've got another picture.
Yeah, this
almost looks like we're in a mirror. I've got to.
Yeah, so let me see which way. Yes, you've got it right.
Okay.
So this is
a reflection on this.
This is a great one because I think it kind of deals with both enjoying the landscape, but also the kind of what's real and what's illusion, and the flickering transience of our reception to the natural world. So the natural world is always changing, and so what you see here is a bank of trees reflected in the water.
And I can't tell if that's a lake, if it's a pond, or a very still river.
Yes, I'm not sure either. I kind of think it's a lake because what it reminds me most of is going out and seeing the lakes around here and seeing those beautiful still reflections.
Mm-hmm.
But in this particular lake or pond, there's all these little tiny lily pads, and that's one way that we can tell what's reflection and what is
Oh, those are lily pads.
Yeah, so you see all of these wonderful little lily pads, but then you see the bottoms of the trees at the top on the bank, and then you see what the tops of the trees look like.
I was going to say this was almost in fall or early spring because it doesn't look like leaves. Too many leaves are on the tree. The way the shadow falls.
Yeah. And I'm not quite sure, but if you look, there are some leaves. So I'm not quite sure what season we're dealing with, but it is a beautiful image, and by focusing on reflections, there's a real reminder of how much your own perception will color how you see the landscape. And so when Oliver Schuchard would speak about his photographs, his landscapes, they aren't just pretty pictures. There's more to it than that. He's really exploring our world, exploring our experience of nature. And a lot of times there is this sense of how transient it is, how what we're seeing now is going to change. We have some nostalgia sometimes when we go back and see places that we knew when we were young, but there's also sometimes a sadness when you see how much it has changed.
Well, nature changes daily.
That's right.
Now, I have a couple of trails that I like to hike on my property, and when you're walking through it, what you see one day is not necessarily what you're going to see the next day, because some flowers have opened up, some flowers have closed, new ones have arrived, the sky is different, the breeze is different. It's a totally different experience each day. It's important, I think, for our soul, to nurture our soul, to get out in nature and just enjoy it and soak in as much as you can.
Yeah, well, it's almost like a different world if you go out in the morning versus the evening.
Or the midday.
Or midday, and what birds you hear singing. And that's, it's hard, of course, to capture that, but an artist like Oliver Schuchard begins to do that. He begins to represent, there's a lot of intensity to the lights and darks in these images, and there's a sense of helping us to see that beauty.
Joe, the display will be up how long?
We're going to have this display up. It will probably be up for a good 6 months. We often leave our new acquisitions up a little longer than our normal displays, and it will focus on 4 Missouri scenes.
Okay.
And so, again, if you're not able to get out into nature during this season, come down and see some of these wonderful Oliver Schuchards.
And the State Historical Society is open when?
We are open Tuesday through Saturday, and we open up at 8:30, and on weekdays we close at 4:30, and on weekends we close at 3. On Saturday. We're closed Sunday.
Thank you very much, JOAN STACK.
You're
Always
welcome.
a pleasure to have you. Tomorrow we have our very first poet laureate for the state of Missouri. Walter Morgan will be with us. Have yourself a nice day. Bye-bye.